So welcome student in our today's section of subject power engineering and refrigeration. Today we are going to start our chapter number 2 and the name of our chapter number 2 is testing of IC engine and emission control. In this chapter we are going to see about the testing parameters of this IC engine and we are going to see about this pollution created by this IC engine and what are the major factors which we are going to consider for this emission control or pollution control here. Before this, in chapter number 1, we see about this wall timing diagram, then detonation, then working of this IC engine. We see the power cycles of this IC engine, and we also took the numericals on this on the power cycle. So we also see about the 2-stroke and 4-stroke engine and saw their difference as well. Then we see about this internal combustion, see about this spark plug engine and compression ignition engine. So in this chapter number 2, we are going to see about the testing of IC engine here. Okay. So let's start it. So first thing which we are going to study today is it is the necessity of engine testing. What is the necessity of testing of IC engine? Why we are going to do the testing of IC engine is we are going to see today. So the first thing is why it is important or necessity of IC engine. So engine testing. So first thing is that to obtain the information about the engine which cannot determined by calculation. So to get the information which are the such as efficiencies, then powers, all these things, to know all these things we require to test the IC engine. Then second, to confirm the data using the design. For this purpose also we are going to test the engine. Because of this we are going to confirm the data using the design, because we sometimes we predict some design operation that if we do some changes in that design then we will get that particular result. So if that particular result is getting or not, for this we require to test the engine. बघा कसं असतं, कधी कधी आपण इंजिन डिझाईन करताना काही चेंजेस करतो की त्याचं वॉल टायमिंग डायग्राम आपण चेंज करतो किंवा कधी त्याचं वॉल्सचं जे असेंब्ली आहे ती आपण थोडी चेंज करतो जेणेकरून तुमच्या इंजिनमध्ये डिटोनेशन कमी व्हावं आणि आपल्या इंजिननी पॉवर जास्त प्रोड्यूस करावी, हिटिंग कमी व्हावं. मग या सगळ्या गोष्टी ॲक्च्युअलमध्ये होत आहेत का, या आपल्याला कशा कळतील वेन वी परफॉर्म द इंजिन टेस्टिंग देअर. ओके. देन द थर्ड वन, टू सॅटिस्फाय द कस्टमर ॲज द रेटेड पॉवर आउटपुट अँड गॅरंटेड स्पेसिफिक फ्युएल कन्झम्पशन. बघा कसं असतं, कंपन्यांकडून आपल्याला प्रॉमिस केलं जातं की तुमच्या बाईकचं मायलेज एवढं आहे आणि एवढ्या फ्युएल कन्झम्पशन असेल किंवा एवढा ॲव्हरेज असेल. तर त्यासाठी कसं आहे की जोपर्यंत कंपनी टेस्ट करून बघत नाही तोपर्यंत त्यांनाही रिझल्ट कळत नाही. मग त्यासाठी काय आहे की द थिंग्स विच वी प्रॉमिसेस टू द कस्टमर शुड बी ऑकर्स इन प्रॅक्टिकल. दॅट्स वाय द इंजिन टेस्टिंग इज नेसेसरी देअर. ओके. सो हिअर आय एम गोइंग टू अगेन एक्सप्लेन सम. As you know that customer satisfaction is the important term in case of the IC engine. That's why the things which are promises to the customer should be occurs practically. And how they will get to know the things practically occurs or not, by taking the testing on the engine. That's why engine testing is necessary here. Then here are the types of testing. So there are two types of testing mostly. First one is the commercial testing and another one is the thermodynamic testing. These are the specifically two types of testing here. So what comes inside the commercial testing is listed on your desktop here. The test in this commercial test, it is the test on internal combustion engine are carried out for commercial purpose to check the following issues. The tests which are carried out for the commercial purpose are known as the commercial testing. So first things is quantity of cooling water and lubricating oil required. Actually this is coming for the maintenance purpose, that how much lubrication required to the engine running, how much oil is required. So this is the first uh, purpose of this commercial testing, to calculate the quantity of lubricating oil along with the cooling water. Then next one, to check the timing of valves. So how these valves are opening and closing, we know already learned about this valve timing diagram, that whether this valve timing is actually happening or not, it is going to be tested inside this testing of commercial testing. Then third point is to check the spark plug. The spark plug also plays important role in the power production of IC engine. That's why we also include the testing of the spark plug inside the commercial test. And fourth point is to injection of the fuel, how the fuel is going to be injected, and whether it is provided the required power or not, it is going to be tested inside the commercial testing. Then fifth one is the rated power output with respect to the fuel consumption. We also checking here in this test that where the rated power output is obtaining or not here. Then the next testing is thermodynamic testing. This is the second type of testing inside the IC engine testing, and name is thermodynamics testing. The purpose of thermodynamic testing is to compare actual performance with the theoretical result. So for this we are going to calculate the power under this thermodynamic testing. Here you can see the three types of power. First one, indicated power, brake power, or friction power. Okay. Thermodynamic test is quite different from the commercial test. They are carried out for the purpose of comparing actual result with the theoretical or ideal performance. While conducting such test, it is necessary to measure the losses in additional to the useful part of the energy, and also draw up a heat balance account. Normally what happens, the things we calculate theoretically doesn't occur practical, because in theoretical calculation we doesn't calculate the losses, but these losses happens in the actual performance. That's why it is important to compare the actual performance with the theoretical one, and for this we are doing this thermodynamic test. After conduction such tests, the performance of heat engine is compared with the historical records, the demand of improvement and development of heat engine. The measurement is necessary to determine the mechanical and thermal efficiencies of the engine. You can see all the efficiencies are calculated inside the thermodynamic test. So these are the powers which we are going to calculate inside the thermodynamic test. First one is the indicated power, then brake power, and the last one is the frictional power. Then fuel consumption and air consumption is also calculated inside the thermodynamic testing. Then as we already discussed, that mechanical efficiency, thermal efficiency, and volumetric efficiency, all these three types of efficiencies are find out inside the thermodynamic testing. Again, this actual performance by testing machine and theoretical performance by calculation. So this actual performance and theoretical performance by calculation are find out by this thermodynamic test. The theoretical test, or the test you can say that are, first one is the Mohs test, then second one is the heat balance sheet, and third one is the motoring test. All these tests are carried out to check the actual performance as well as theoretical performance. Okay. So the last one testing, it is the PUC testing. You all are very much familiar with the PUC, because we have this PUC document of our motorcycle, and full form of this PUC is pollution under control test. This test is performed to know the percentage of carbon monoxide and hydrocarbon HC and smoke density in the exhaust gas. So why we are going to perform this PUC? Because to know the percentage of carbon monoxide, hydrocarbon and smoke density. Analysis of exhaust gas of petrol engine and diesel engine. So normally we did this PUC of this our automobiles or our car or our two-wheelers to check whether its percentage of carbon monoxide or hydrocarbon are within the limits. That's why we are doing this pollution under control test. So here we are going to learn something about this power, as we already see this indicated power, then brake power. So let's start it from the indicated power. What is indicated power? It is the power developed inside the engine cylinder, and it is known as the indicated power, denoted by capital I, capital P. IP means indicated power, and it is the actual power developed inside the cylinder. Here indicated power having the formula IP is equals to work done per cycle into N. And you know that N gives the number of revolutions. This work done per unit cycle can be written as PM into Vs. So this PM for mean effective pressure and Vs is the volume. So this indicated power can be written as IP is equals to PM into A into L into N for two-stroke engine. Here this volume can be written as product of area into length. So IPB indicated power becomes product of mean effective pressure into area into length into N. This is N for number of revolutions, and for two-stroke engine we take it as N. And for the four-stroke engine we are having this formula as IP is equals to PM into A into L into N by 2 upon 60. We require this N in rotation per second. That's why we are dividing it by 60. Here also 60 is needed. So here, if the N is given in the N is given as in meter rotation per minute, at that time we divide this N by the 60, and if it is not given, it already given in the meter per rotation per second, then it is remain PM into A into L into N here. And if it is not given in the rotation per second, then we need to convert it into rotation per second by dividing it by 60 here. You know, for 4-stroke engine we get 1 power stroke in 2 revolution of crankshaft. That's why we are dividing N by 2 here. Okay. And for 2-stroke we get 1 power stroke in 1 revolution of crankshaft. That's why we taking it as PM into A into L into N. If N is in meter rotation per minute, then we need to divide it by 60. Again, this mean effective pressure can be written as product of A into S upon L, where A is the area, S is the spring index, and L is the length. Okay. Then we are going to see the brake power. So what is brake power? The brake power of an engine is the useful power available at the crankshaft, and it is denoted by capital B point capital P. So normally what happens, the power developed inside the engine is get transferred to the crankshaft. So the power which we get at the crankshaft is known as the brake power here. Okay. So brake power of an engine, it is the useful power available in the crankshaft. And the brake power is always less than the indicated power because some power get lost practically. So the formula for brake power is equals to 2 pi nt upon 60. This torque can be written as the difference between the W minus S, where W it is the load and S is the spring index here. Spring balance, where S is the spring balance reading here. So where we can substitute this T as the result of W minus S into R, which is torque in Newton per minute, and R is the radius of the drum. Okay, so this is the brake power, the power which we got at the crankshaft, and it is named as the brake power. Again we are having the third power, and it is known as the friction power. So this is actually, it is the difference between the indicated power and the brake power. It is the actually power loss inside the engine, and here in formulatic manner you can write it as friction power, it is equals to indicated power minus brake power, and in symbolical format IF is equals to IP minus BP. Then what are the major purpose to find out this friction power and indicated power of an IC engine? The friction power can be measured by the methods using the motoring test, then Mohs test, or Williams straight line methods. So these are the efficiencies which we are going to find out of this IC engine during this engine testing. The first efficiency is of indicated thermal efficiency. Okay. So indicated thermal efficiency, it is defined as the ratio of heat equivalent of indicated power to the heat supplied. So what is indicated power? It is the ratio of heat equivalent of indicated power to the heat supplied to the engine. Here you can see it in the form of the formula here. Efficiency of ITH means indicated thermal efficiency is ratio of heat equivalent of indicated power to the heat supplied to the engine here. It can be written as efficiency of indicated is equals to IP into 3600 upon MF into C of V, where IP it is for indicated power and M of F it is the fuel oil supplied in kg per hour, and here is CV for calorific value of the fuel in kilojoule per kg. Here we are multiplying this indicated power by 3600 because normally we calculated power in form of watt, which is per second, and we need to convert this watt into kilojoule per kg per hour. That's why we need to multiply it by 3600. Okay. Normally, if this MF is given in kg per second, then the formula will become if indicated thermal efficiency is equals to IP upon MF into CV. All this depend on the MF. If MF is given in the form of the kg per second, then no need to take this multiplying factor 3600, and if this MF is given in kg per hour, at that time we require to multiply indicated power by 3600. Now we are going to see the brake thermal efficiency. What is this brake thermal efficiency? Brake thermal efficiency, it is the ratio of equivalent of brake power to the heat supplied. Here this brake thermal efficiency, it is the ratio of heat equivalent to brake power per unit time to the heat supplied to the engine per unit time. So, it is the ratio of heat equivalent to the brake power to the heat supplied. Indicated power, it is the ratio of heat equivalent to the indicated power. Here you can see in this first slide, indicated thermal efficiency, it is the ratio of heat equivalent to the indicated power. And this brake thermal efficiency is, it is the heat equivalent to the brake power per heat supplied. Here also the brake thermal efficiency, it is the ratio of brake power into 3600 upon MF into CV. MF is the fuel, mass of fuel oil supplied in kg per hour, and if it is given in kg per second, then no need to take this 3600 in the formula above. Okay. Then the third efficiency, it is the mechanical efficiency. Mechanical efficiency, it is the ratio of the brake power to the indicated power. You can see here mechanical efficiency, it is the ratio of brake power to the indicated power. Then what is the value of volumetric efficiency? It is the ratio of actual volume of the swept volume, actual volume to the swept volume. You can see here volumetric efficiency, it is the ratio of actual volume to the swept volume. N of V is equals to V of A upon V of S. The ratio of actual volume to the swept volume. Again we are having this brake specific fuel consumption. BFSC, brake specific fuel consumption. It is defined as the mass of fuel required to develop 1 kilowatt brake power for 1 hour. Here you can see this brake specific fuel consumption. It is defined as the mass of fuel required to develop 1 kilowatt of brake power for 1 hour. You can see in this phonetic manner, it is the ratio of fuel consumption upon brake power. Is the mass BSFC is equals to M of F upon B of P, B dot P. Okay students, so we are stopping here today, and from tomorrow we will start to solve some numericals related to the engine testing, or else we can take the MOS test or some other testing. Thanks for the today's lecture, and if you have any doubt then you can call me on my WhatsApp number. Thank you.